Hello, I am Lise Colucci, and I'm one of the life coaches over at QueenBeeing.com. I'm here to do a live Q&A, so I'm going to wait until people come on to talk. We were just over with Angie Atkinson, so I'm waiting for people to come on over here from there to finish the talk, if anyone's interested. So meanwhile, if you've not hit subscribe to this channel, please do so. And if you need any help with anything regarding coaching or group coaching, check out the links in the main description of every video. So let's, I see a couple people coming in. Hello, Ellen. So why don't we go ahead and just start talking since I don't have a topic today. Hit me with it. What are your questions? What do you want to talk about? And please be patient as I scroll through while I'm talking and I scroll back. If I miss your question, repeat it, please, because chat is a challenge sometimes. Hey, you guys, Darlene and is that Drader and Ellen. And Darlene, if you guys, anyone new here, if you've not hit subscribe, I am on here at least 3 times a week lately, sometimes 5, doing live streams. So hit subscribe and join me when you can. Okay, my wife is a narcissist. We had no money, no food in the house except for $10, to which my wife used to buy a cheesesteak sub. She sat and ate the entire thing in front of me. Wow, right? I'm sorry. That is, does that show how little empathy people actually have when they are narcissistic? Horrible, horrible. Okay, you guys, go ahead and ask some questions. After that, I let her know I was upset. She called you a name. Of course she did. Because how dare you deprive her of something? Okay, just wanted to share that Ellen says, when we got out of our head into our heart, staying positive feels more natural. This is interesting, Ellen. Some people are so far in their heart that they need to get in their head. I think this is where talking to someone individually or getting a little bit of help can help, because sometimes we don't realize where we're stuck. We don't realize if we're stuck in our heart, stuck in our head. Does that make sense? So it sounds like for you, that getting out of your head and into your heart, staying positive feels more natural. Some people are so stuck in their heart that they can't use logic to get themselves to where it feels natural to be even safe and free and treated well. So, so that's a really good point. And so understanding who you are and how you operate and the way that this narcissism affects you can be super, super useful. So you guys, any questions, go ahead and ask anything you'd ask over there, ask over here and ever on Angie's channel, I mean, and I will try and do my best to answer you. Let's see. Seems to be a thing with them. Asking, you remember asking an ex for grocery money and he said he didn't have it. So I'd go to food bank only to come home and find out he bought bike parts. Well, clearly you didn't ask if he had money. You asked if he had grocery money and he had bike part money. Oh my gosh, awful, right? Okay. It's likely an imbalance, Jack is saying, any which way. And it's a matter of getting back to your own proper frame of existence and peace. That's right. And it's sometimes a matter of learning new ways that some people discover through having been with a toxic person, that they are a person who feels so much that they can't use the logical part of their brain when they are feeling traumatized. And so they learn how to balance it better, and vice versa. Some people think so much they don't feel enough, right? Enough meaning enough to get them out of the situation. Okay. Or to feel okay. So they're using their heads. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Any questions you guys have? Because this is a Q&A and I did not bring anything here. I just came over straight from Angie's live stream where we were talking about withholding intimacy. So I guess we could talk more about that until there are questions. Let's see. They go easily mirroring on technicalities. Anything that gives them an out is an excuse or an excuse. Yeah. How are you feeling, Jack? It sounds like you have been ill, and it's good to see you here. Thank you for coming in. How do you become more confident after 20 years? Thank you. Good question. After 20 years with a narcissist, you mean? It's starting to focus on your own life, learning to trust yourself. So one way to learn to trust yourself and be more confident, it depends on, so tell me, Mystique, what are you feeling? Where do you lack confidence? Like if you want to answer if you want to answer. You don't have to answer. If you don't want to share publicly, that's totally fine. But give me examples of how a person might feel a lack of confidence. So I can, because it's going to be depending on what it is where you're lacking the confidence, how to go about helping it everywhere. So is it like a general, you're feeling like you don't trust yourself, you don't trust your opinions, you don't trust your decisions, you lack confidence in standing up and being bold and presenting yourself to the world, the whole thing, right? Um, Learning to trust yourself in everyday life. Okay. So baby step it. Okay. Look at the things that you do okay. You don't have to do them great or perfect, just okay. And be okay with that. Be all right with that. See that um gosh, it's hard without specifics. I feel like I'm messing up all the time. And what does that mean, messing up? Messing up for by whose standards? I get it. I get it. I get there, and it's like a trap where you feel like you're just a bumbling, like I can't do anything right. Everything fails around me. Everything's falling down. I think it's in finding small places that you do things right. I would guess you brush your teeth pretty well. I would guess you can cook a meal that you like pretty well. I would guess, and if you can't, then find something else, right? I'm just giving really basic examples. You don't mess up when you take a shower in the morning. You don't mess up when you remember to set your alarm clock or whatever it is, right? You don't mess up in certain areas. You focus on that, write them down. These are areas that I think I'm pretty good at. And realize that you have that toxic person's narrative in your head. And like we were saying about letting go of the guilt over on Angie's on the live stream over on Angie's channel, it's letting go of the narrative they've placed in your head about yourself. And by letting go, I mean reworking the perspective by which you see it. This Mystique, this could be an area where like the group coaching could help. Or talking to someone one-on-one could help, because it's going to be, my answer is it's individual for each person. It's finding the ways that you the words you're telling to yourself. So there's things like learning to speak kindly to yourself. It's all kinds of things. You got to try them in different ways. Learning to speak kindly to yourself could be a big one, because if you learn to speak kindly to yourself, suddenly the feeling of not being enough fades. Okay, it'll still be there because it'll be in other areas of your life, right? But it's not so. It's in some areas it can get better because you're speaking kindly to yourself. So that can mean for some people daily affirmations. It can mean gratitude lists. It can mean restating the negative self-talk. It can mean even catching the negative self-talk. It can mean understanding the fear that lies behind it. It can mean listening to the narrative that was placed in your head, the programming really by the toxic people, and realizing that it's a bunch of lies, and trying to let go that way. It's a whole lot of things. Starting there, I think, is a good place to start with it, and I would suggest start there and see what happens, and let's talk in a week. Okay, start there and just see what comes up. What you might find is that you can't talk nice to yourself, and then there's a whole nother question, right? So I've been listening to gratitude affirmations as soon as I wake up. It really helps. Thank you, love bug. And I'm going to add something to that, because I think listening before you go to bed is equally, if not more powerful, in combination with first thing in the morning. Even better, listen to gratitude and affirmations before bed. Write down 3 of your favorites that you heard, or 1 favorite that you heard, and then do it again in the morning. Wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over. Reprogramming, right? Because that's a really great tip. You're welcome, Mystique. I'm glad that if that hit you right where you needed to hear it, then try it out and let me know next week. We'll talk about it with any stream. You don't have to be a live Q&A. Okay. I'm going back here. I have some nice herbal tea, apple cider. Good. We're just getting it now in this house. So I may not be here the rest of the week. We'll find out. Mine would emotionally withhold and make nasty comments, but then expect me to be intimate. Isn't that the worst pocket full of sunshine? It's like let's deflate you to your most devalued feeling of nothingness, of no connection, of lack of feeling good about yourself, and then expect you to perform, literally. This is what they do, right? Um, let's see. Jennifer, hello. I'm not sure I'm being hoovered or he's just bored. Well, okay, let's talk about that. I left a year and a half ago. He ignored me for quite some time. And in the past couple months, he's gone to jail and now is calling and writing. Here's the thing, a hoover doesn't mean they want you back. A hoover means they're, whoa, I'm sorry. Okay. If you saw my table, you'd understand. And I know I need to fix that, but whatever. Okay. Keep bumping it. All right. A hoover does not mean they want you back. A hoover means they're trying to suck you back in for attention. Okay. We mistakenly think often, and I'm not saying you're wrong here, maybe this you're seeing it this way too. We often think that what are you saying? Saying he loves me and misses me, I'm confused. Don't be confused, my friend. Be clear. He wants you back in the sense of he wants your attention. He wants your supply. He wants your focus. He wants your energy. He wants to, use you. So he's got no one else right now. He's feeling low. He's feeling alone, whatever, sucking you back in. That's what it is. So yeah, you're being hoovered. Even if he's just bored, you're being hoovered. Okay. It's all just for attention and it's all for their gain. And it re-traumatizes and it re-trauma bonds you to them. So steer clear. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. If I missed anything from anyone, please repeat. Okay. Um, Darlene, I remember breakthrough when I said I hate myself. Ooh. And a voice in my head asked why. I thought about it and realized everything I hated was physical. I loved my personality. And now I know I only hate my body, not myself. And so that can be worked on too, right? Your body does amazing things for you. It doesn't have to be the ideal of what anyone else says is ideal. Okay. It doesn't even have to look a certain way, but it gets you where you need to go. Even when you have pain and chronic pain in your body, it's doing things for you to keep you in this world, right? And keep you going. It is the vehicle by which we travel around inside, right? So learning to love your body differently doesn't necessarily mean you have to learn to love, oh gosh, I love the way my arms look. I mean, said very few women ever, right? Yeah, we don't have to do that. We just have to say, I'm strong in my arms and I can do things with them. Or sometimes they hurt and that's okay because I'm still able to hug my kids, hug myself, right? So, okay. Not to mention the brain fog, I missed something. They will suck you dry. Yes, they will. My mother's getting frustrated because now she's trying to hoover my 19-year-old and the kid isn't really having it. She also made my wife the new family scapegoat. Of course she did, because I'm not going to guess here, she got exposed. And instead of being exposed, she picks on someone else. That's a guess. I don't know the story, but that's, yeah. If they can't scapegoat one person, they move on to the next. That's right. All right. And if your wife, if Huffle Mama is feeling her boundaries, and if she's feeling pretty good, and if she's feeling in her power, and if she's acting of her own agency, and if she is learning and healing and growing, oh, perfect scapegoat target, because how dare she, right? According to a narcissist. Okay. What are we saying here? Any other questions or anything, please add them to the chat and I will keep going. Otherwise, we'll end fairly soon here. Let's see. And also, you guys, anyone who's here for chat, this is a really impromptu one where I'm kind of like just answering you guys and I don't have a topic. Normally, I come in with a topic and talk a lot and give a lot of information on here. If you're new here and you haven't been here, hit subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. If you want texting notification of my going live, text me at 33222. Put the word LISELIVE, LISELIVE. Hit send, and I will try to text you ahead of time, unless it's like a quick coming on like this, which obviously I didn't send. So, okay, so let's go back here. I was on my deathbed mystique 5 years ago until I started to take my life back. I'm still sick, but good. Yes. Okay. I speak my truth. Hello. What do you do when your own mother doesn't understand and can't see her actions? Like she'll gaslight you. Okay. So when you have a narcissistically behaving mother, um, she'll be mean and call you names and have no idea. It's hard. Okay, because what you realize in that moment and what you realize over time and through seeing it is that you don't have a nurturing, caring, loving, attentive mother that gives, right? What you have is a narcissistic mother or someone behaving like a narcissist or a toxic mother. And what do is you set boundaries. You stop going to that person for the nurturing you need in your life. You start giving it to yourself and finding outside sources that are healthy and interactive in a way where you're both healthy with each other to reciprocally nurture, right? And to nurture yourself, more importantly. So you find the things that you go, uh, her actions have to be less big in your life. In other words, you might need to cut time. You might need to cut contact some. You might need to go no contact. You might need to learn about maintaining low contact. There's a video on here about, I don't know, if you scroll through the videos of the last few weeks, it's on there. It's called Low Contact with a Narcissist, and that might help because it has a lot of ideas to speak to exactly what you're asking here. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place for yourself because what you didn't have, you're never going to get from someone like that. And acceptance is it's like the bitter pill we have to swallow. That the acceptance of what the person is, how they are. And like I said a couple days ago, if you got a shark in a tank, don't expect to put your hand in and not get bit. Shark is a shark. A narcissist is a narcissist. A toxic person isn't going to change because you show them what their actions are. No, they're going to turn it on you. That's the proof that they're toxic, right? They're going to prove that they're toxic by you saying something, saying, "Hey, mom, I really wish you could see me. This hurts me." You could say it as nice as you want. You could say it as mean as you want. You could yell at her. You could cry at her. It's not going to work. She's gonna deflect it back onto you. So low contact, setting boundaries. Boundaries are huge, and I did one on boundaries 2 days ago too. So check that out, or last week rather. I feel like now I'm still having brain fog. We've been married 20 years and have 3 children. We were married 20. How long have you been, Jennifer? How long have you been out of the relationship? The brain fog takes a while. This kind of trauma literally affects the way your brain functions. Okay. And so it takes time to get it all back sort of firing that without being what trauma brain, right? You've been out a year and a half. That's makes sense that you would still, that's a long time to be in. Do you have a therapist or a coach that you talk to that can be really helpful in figuring out what you need to calm the nervous system, to calm the effects that this has had on you so that you can start thinking more clear. It is possible. You can do it. Oops, without knowing details, that's kind of where I'll leave it for right now. Let's see. I'm going to go back here, and if you have more on it, keep talking, and I'll keep answering. Let's see. I tried all the boundaries in the universe you can think of while I was living with my mom. I almost don't care anymore. Here's the thing. I'm not saying place boundaries and it's going to work. I'm saying place boundaries and hold them even though. What someone said to me that was brilliant. They said, yeah, so you have a narcissist in your life and you can't get them out. This is someone that can't get out, right? You place the boundary, and guess what? Place the next boundary and the next boundary and the next boundary, and that's the nature of the relationship. That's what it is. But here's the thing we have to learn is that when we place that boundary, we stick to it. And sometimes we fail and have to replace the boundaries. Sometimes they push through. We have to replace the boundaries. Sometimes they're nice and we let our boundaries slip. It's a constant flux, right? But when we're done with it and we are in our life away from them, let it go. Move towards your life. Focus on yourself. Learn to let go of the re-traumatization. And I say let it go. I don't mean like, oh, just let it go. What I mean is learn to cope, learn strategize ways to self-calm, to recenter, to ground yourself so that you're not You almost have to compartmentalize that relationship outside of the rest of your life. It's the way it is. Otherwise, how do you stay healthy in it? Okay, what do we got here? Um, I blame myself. My mom followed me around the house, taking photos of me, love bombing me, and gaslighting me. She told my sister's dog to bite me. Why do you blame yourself? Because you stayed in it? Is that what you mean? You blamed yourself because you stayed there? We got to stop blaming ourselves for things. We have to. It's a way of keeping you trapped in the trauma to blame yourself because now you're traumatizing yourself about it. So we had working on ways to just see it for what it is, accept what happened, not because you wanted it to happen and not because you're stupid or there's anything wrong with you, but because it is how these relationships work, right? They're really hard to get out of. We see things go again, back to more videos. I've been doing a lot of videos. I've got a lot of topics lately. Cognitive dissonance. Go watch yesterday's cognitive dissonance. That's what happens when you're in it. That's what happens when you are stuck in it. And so blaming yourself is like blaming yourself when you have a bad flu for not getting up and running laps around the block. You're sick. You're not sick when you're with them. You're in a state of cognitive dissonance. Your mind is being pulled in all directions, and your heart. Okay, so try to let go of that self blame in a way that is healthy, right? Okay. I blame myself because I wonder if I manifested that situation because I kept praying to God for it to get worse. So I no, you again, go watch that video on cognitive dissonance. That's where you were. Okay. And that's where you still are with the self-blame. It is. And it needs to be um you need to realize it isn't your fault. It is never your fault for being treated this way. Mm-mm, it isn't. Um, let's see. Telling yourself, I like what Bonnie says here. Telling yourself you are safe is a great affirmation toward healing. This is right. Recognizing it, recognizing that right this moment, I'm pretty safe. I may not be perfect. Life may not be the best, everything I want, but I'm emotionally safe right now. Stepping when you are setting boundaries and you're low contact with a narcissist, I talk about that in that video too, where setting that boundary, stepping away from it and recognizing, okay, they're over there and I'm here, I'm safe right now. I did what I needed to do. It's done. I'm gonna go on with my life and I'm gonna recognize that I'm safe outside of that. When I'm there, I'm not safe. That's why the boundaries are in place. Okay. Let's see. What do we have here? Darlene is saying, I say I'm safe after each thing you notice. It helps your brain realize you are no longer, yeah, this is it. It helps your brain realize you are no longer in danger and brings back your mind. So when you are triggered, re-traumatized, I'm smacking my hand. When you're triggered or re-traumatized, your brain goes into fight flight. The problem when we have CPTSD and when we have had repeated traumas like this, emotional abuse, really, is that our hippocampus atrophies. Our part of our brain that is the regulator that says, is that a tiger or is that a paper bag? Is that danger? Is that perceived danger? Is atrophied. So the message from our brain when we receive the trigger goes straight to the amygdala, which is where the fight flight fires. Fight flight, once you're in it, the rest of your brain takes a back seat because it's meant to keep you safe. So if you're in fight flight and you're like, boom, 100 miles an hour or frozen or fighting your way out or whatever it is, right? Fawning, freezing. When you're in that state, the rest of your brain can't access the part that the functioning cognitive self. Okay. It's there and it's going, it's okay, you're fine. So if you use just what you can in little ways, calm your body down, calm your breathing down, tell yourself, I know you're not listening right now, but you're safe. You're safe. You're safe. You're safe. Put post-it notes, have affirmations, read them, get oriented into the room and the space that you're in when you're away, right? When you are actually safe, get physically grounded and oriented into where you are. Give yourself a minute to just disassociate and check out for a second if you need it. Shake it off. And then come back to exactly that. Say, I'm safe. Say it out loud. I'm safe right now. Person is not here. I'm safe right now. And it can help you kind of bring yourself down, talk yourself back into the cognitive mind instead of into the fight flight. Okay. Um, okay. Anything else? You're not safe though. So I worry about telling myself a lie. Okay. There's that too. You may not be safe. So you don't tell yourself you're safe. You say right now, go into the bathroom. Go outside when you are safe. In this moment, I am safe. In this moment, I am safe. Does that make sense? Make it real. Make it, don't lie to yourself, but make it a real statement. And if you're never safe, we need to get you out of there, right? That's yeah. You can become safe. Like say you're having to live with a toxic person. It's a parent. I'm just going to make this up. You have to live in the situation for whatever reason. You feel stuck. You can't exit right now. So you're technically not safe. You're always on. You're in a state of traumatization. That would be a lie to say I'm safe, right? I was talking more about if it's a trigger or a re-traumatization that you're able to get away from. When you have to be in it, it would be wrong to say I'm safe, right? So what I would do is I would say that boundary I placed helps me stay safe. That boundary I placed that's going to be pushed on, that's okay. I'm going to just put another one there. That's what helps me stay safe. Right? So I would make it more realistic and real, and maybe telling yourself there's a reason I'm feeling heightened. This is, like acknowledging where you are in the reality of it, right? Okay. What do we have here? If you can find a few moments where you can most definitely assure yourself that you are safe, get to those moments and reinforce the memories. It's sort of like when we're sad all the time from being with a narcissist, right? Like say it's a partner and you can't leave financially, you can't get out, you're just trapped right now. Okay. Get out of your headspace a little bit in your day when they're not around. Look out your window and see the spring coming if it's coming, or the snow falling if it's falling, and think how beautiful it is. Stay safe in your experience of the world. Stats, we become our safe place. Does that make sense? We have to create this was told to me a long time ago. We have to create a sense of like a foundation or a landing pad or whatever you want to call it underneath us, inside of us, to be that safe space. Do it in the healthiest way you can. So start learning things you like, you love, you make you happy, but don't tell that toxic person. Keep it safe. Keep it for yourself and observe those things, do those things, feel the good feelings once in a while. Otherwise, it's too much, right? Um, okay. Sometimes that can help you get out if you're trying to get out but can't because you won't. And I don't mean that rudely. What I mean is you're able physically, but you are so trauma bonded that it feels impossible. Sometimes having the contrast of, wow, when I'm experiencing these things on my own, I feel pretty darn good. When I'm around them, I feel horrible. And that's when the thing you were hoping for, who was it that was saying that? Um, Feeling guilty. I speak my truth. That's when that can happen where nothing actually has to get worse. If you have a contrast of something awesome and amazing in the rest of your life, that horrible is going to feel worse. You're going to feel the impact of it because it's in such contrast to what is good, right? And so sometimes that can help you be the catalyst to leave. And like I think we're going to talk about that next week on Angie's the catalyst to leave. So that's good. Okay. Thank you, Jack Lumen. That is the link I was talking about. Yeah. Create safety within yourself. All around you, it'll become safe. Within you, it'll become safe because you know you got your back, right? And hopefully, if you can find that contrast and get out, yay. Okay. All right. I am going to head out here in just a minute. Is there any other questions that I missed? Anything else that I missed? If I did, please write it and I'll say it. But I gotta go soon because I have to eat lunch before my next client. Okay. I made a post for you to see, Lise, about no contact. Where? Up here? On here you did? See, let me see. Oh my gosh, scrolling. It is so ridiculous. Because see what happens is the chat's still moving, and so if you let go, it jumps. You gotta, where was I? Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm no contact right now, and every day I miss her, but I don't know how to set a boundary without feeling like I'm excusing her behaviors and feeling like she got away with it because poor her. It, this might be, I mean, that's a long answer. Can can you bring this tomorrow? Can you bring that question tomorrow? That statement. Think a little bit. Let me give you some things to think on. If you're no contact, why do you need to set a boundary? Okay. So what is the boundary you're setting? What is the boundary you're setting? Um, you mean a boundary to talk to her again? Um, yeah, talk a little bit more about it, and let's talk about a little bit more about it tomorrow. Because, like I said, I just saw the time, and that's a really good talking point and a long answer. So I don't know what time I'll be here. I will. It's usually around this time, but um, this time of day. What day is tomorrow? Wednesday. I also have COVID in my house, so there's a chance that this week's gonna. So I'll try to be here, but um, okay. Let's see. Yes, come again tomorrow. So on to that before we end. If you need texting notification, text me 33222, put the word Lise Live, LISELIVE, and hit send. I will text you hopefully before I do come live. Hit the subscribe here and then channel notifications here. That's another way to get notification of when I'm live. And check out any of the information in the description of videos if you need anything more. If you need some one-on-one time or group coaching time, it's there. I just want you all to know the resources that are available. Go over to QueenBeeing.com, obviously, for more information. And I will, thank you. I will see you guys tomorrow sometime. So you take care, and it was great chatting. Thank you for coming in and doing a live Q&A. I don't do those very often. They're a little unnerving because you don't know what's going to happen. Right? So, okay, I'll talk to you guys. If you've subscribed to Angie's SMS text service, it's the same short number. Yes, it's just a different name, Lise instead of Angie, LISE, live. Okay. All right. Thank you. You are welcome, Mystique. You take care, and I hope you guys have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.